This is an update to yesterday's video about the gold horned goat at Mar-a-Lago, and I wanted to do this follow-up because some new information has come to light. Now, originally it was pretty easy for us to believe that Trump would have something like this at Mar-a-Lago because it basically combines two of his most favorite things, gold and about 100 pictures of himself. However, I had a few doubts as to whether or not this story was true. But after some more research, those doubts have mostly faded away, and I'll tell you why. Yesterday, a friend of the channel alerted me to the fact that the goat we see in this image looked exactly like those from the Project Goat fundraiser, which was designed to raise awareness about human trafficking. This fundraiser was based in Tampa Bay, Florida. An article in the Tampa Bay Times, dated February 2nd, said the following. On Saturday, 55 goat sculptures will be on display and available for purchase at the Athletes, Artists, and Causes Big Game Party with a Purpose fundraiser at Zoo Tampa at Lowry Park. It's presented by Athletes and Causes, a non-profit organization that connects athletes and artists with charitable causes. Here are a few images of these goat sculptures, and notice that they are identical to the one that was supposedly at Mar-a-Lago, even down to the thick base underneath the goats. Interestingly, though, none of the 55 images of the goat sculptures on the Project Goat website match the one pictured in the image you see on the screen. This means that there are three possibilities. 1. The goat with the Trump money plastered all over it does not really exist. 2. Someone purchased one of the 55 goat sculptures and pasted Trump money all over it. 3. This is a separate goat sculpture that Project Goat isn't seeking to advertise. I reached out to Project Goat for more information on this, but have not heard back as of yet. On the Project Goat website, however, there is a link to their Instagram account which lists a number of different photos, including the goat sculpture that is said to have been taken at Mar-a-Lago. In addition, there is also this short video on their Instagram account, which would seem to be pretty good evidence that this is in fact a real sculpture. There are also a couple of additional images for this particular goat. Now, in yesterday's video, I was a bit skeptical of whether the image of the woman and the goat sculpture at Mar-a-Lago was real. To me, it simply didn't appear to be quite legit. After I made that video, I studied the image a bit more and started to become more convinced that the image was AI. First, because the woman seemed like an AI version of Ivanka Trump, and second, because the hands on her showed telltale signs of being AI. In case you don't know, if there's one flaw with AI images, it's that they cannot properly render hands and feet. In fact, this is such a known flaw of AI that it's usually the first thing that experts on AI will look at when examining images. In this image, which we're all familiar with by now, look at the woman's right hand and specifically around the wrist area. Because if we do that, we can see that there is a distorted area just above and just below the wrist. Now look over at the left hand and you'll see a strange claw-like rendering, which is very common for AI images. Again, AI just cannot properly render hands and feet, at least as of today. Behind her right hand, we also see clear evidence that this photo has some problems. Rather than clearly showing the color and texture of the dress or robe she's wearing, all we see is a green blurry area. I was also struck by the fact that the robe this woman is wearing, which looks suspiciously like a bathrobe, is very similar to a snake skin, even down to a couple of eyes in the middle. But that's a video for another day. However, one thing I was wrong on is that I thought this woman was an AI version of Ivanka Trump. In fact, this woman is named Martha Bonita Fain, and she describes herself as a policy advisor, lobbyist, speaker, corporate strategist, and involved in government affairs. She's basically in the Republican version of lifestyles of the rich and famous. As you can tell by the images on her Instagram account, she travels in very conservative, pro-Trump circles. She has numerous pictures of herself with Donald Trump Jr., Pete Hegseth, J.D. Vance, Elon Musk, Tucker Carlson, and many others. She also has several pictures of herself holding her hands as she does in the Mar-a-Lago picture, including this one. Now, not to pick on anyone here, but as we get older, our hands get older too, and that's nothing to be ashamed of. But when we compare this picture of her hands basically looking the same age as she is, which I believe is about 55, then her hands in the Mar-a-Lago image are clearly airbrushed to look younger, which would explain the blurry green area. Someone tried to make her hands look younger. I mention that because it's the most plausible explanation for the anomalies we see in the picture. Rather than being AI, it is a legitimate picture that someone tried to clean up a bit. So where I now stand is that the goat sculpture covered in Trump money is indeed real. The picture of Martha Bonita Fain posing with it is most likely real, although it's possible that her image was photoshopped on top of the image of the goat sculpture. Also, the goat sculpture does not have a permanent home at Mar-a-Lago, but was taken there to publicize it going up for auction on February 27th. It may or may not be there right now, but whoever wins it at the auction later this month will undoubtedly take it with them. The bottom line to all of this is that there really is a goat sculpture covered in Trump money sporting gold horns and gold hooves, and it's being welcomed by conservative Christians. Apparently, not only do they not care about the blasphemy right under their noses, they welcome it.